The bond between people and their pets is undeniable, so it may not come as a surprise to find out that nearly half of the victims in abusive situations stay in that relationship rather than have to leave their animals behind.
Partners for Peace is now the third domestic violence shelter in Maine that has a pet-friendly certification. Joy Hollowell tells us more.
We saw it quite often where a family didn't feel comfortable leaving their pet at home if they were looking to escape.
Partners for Peace in Bangor does allow families to stay with their animals at the domestic violence shelter. But for several years now, Executive Director Amanda Koss says the nonprofit has been looking for ways to make their building and programs more pet-friendly.
Either way, it's a different place for someone, and so if they can bring their pet, if a child can bring their pet, it can feel more like home.
That's why the nonprofit partnered with both local and national organizations to become certified.
So we have space that's separate for pets and for humans. We have this really wonderful pet lounge where families can go and be and visit with their pets and allow them to be in open space together.
Pets stay right in the room with families. They must be kept separate from other shelter pets, and there is an entirely different section at the shelter for those allergic to or perhaps not comfortable being around animals.
We're talking everything that meets the Bangor City Code. So yes, we would take rats, snakes, rabbits, dogs, cats.
Also,
this program is meant for families to bring their pets with them when they come to our program, not for pets to be dropped off.
Koss says they are now working with other groups to try and make Maine the first state in the nation to be pet-friendly certified at all of its domestic violence shelters. Joy Hollowell, WABI TV5 News, Bangor.
Currently, the two other certified pet-friendly shelters are located in Androscoggin County.